All right, we are looking good. Make sure you can hear me. Let me know if any Let me know. Well, I know you guys are gonna hear me.
I hear you on stream too.
Excellent. Let me know how. Let me know how the mix is. So, as Zoda said about 30 seconds ago, this is a. I made the offer earlier today that if we got up to $150 of total donations, that I'd make this a no candle, no cross run, and it didn't take long for that to happen. So, enjoy the upcoming dumpster fire of a run. But for those of you that are not familiar with this game and what a no candle, no cross run means, you'll see when I start going through the game that the first couple of caves that I go through are going to be pretty dark. It's like almost impossible to see the enemies that are in there. Once you get the candle, all of those caves get lit up. So with not getting the candle, all of the caves throughout the game are going to be dark, especially all of the encounters throughout the Valley of Death, which include many, many pits to fall into. So including all of Death Mountain, that's going to be all dark. So we'll have a lot of fun with that. No cross. The cross item normally there's some enemies, there's some MOAs later in the game, especially in the Valley of Death, that are invisible. The cross makes those enemies visible, so not getting that will also be a bunch of invisible enemies flying around in the dark hitting us as we're trying to go through the Valley of Death. So yes, fun times. So we'll see how all this goes. I need a file name. Does anybody want to give me a file name? Somewhat food related would be good. Anybody? Nobody? I'm about to name myself Sketty.
Do it.
All right, Sketty it is. Because I just had Sketty for dinner and it was delicious. All right, so let me see if I can find my timer. There's my timer. All right, guys. Let's do this.
All right, I gotta get some food. I'll be right back.
All right.
Alrighty.
All right, so welcome to Adventure of Link. Time started as soon as I gained control of Link, and you may have noticed that I went out of the North Palace through the left instead of the right. That saves exactly 1 frame of movement. That's going to be about the only time save that I'm actually going to get throughout this entire run. I am extremely unpracticed. I haven't actually played Adventure of Link in quite a while, so we'll see how this goes. But so far, I'm doing pretty good. I got the unlucky potion drop instead of a point bag. I believe that's a 1 in. I believe that's like a 1 in 4 chance. Like a 25% chance of getting a point bag out of that. That's okay. It's based on the frame of whatever frame of the game you're on once you kill that 6th enemy. So the way that the potion and point bag drops work in this game, there's 2 sets of enemies in the game. I guess you could say there's 3 sets of enemies. There's minor enemies, major enemies, and enemies that just straight up don't ever drop a potion or point bag. They're enemies that don't count towards either of those counters. So minor enemies are pretty much any enemy that gives you, I believe, less than or 20 or less experience points. And major enemies are going to be any other enemies that give you more than that. So the game keeps track with 2 separate counters of how many of those enemies you have defeated. And once you've defeated the 6th enemy, it will, again, based on whatever frame you're currently on in the game, it will drop either a potion or a point bag. And like I said, between the minor enemies and the major enemies, it counts those separately. And if they drop a point bag, the minor enemies will drop a point bag worth 50, and the major enemies will drop a point bag worth 200. Every time that you complete a palace and put the crystal in the statue, the game will give you however many experience points you need for you to get up to your next experience level. So the general idea that we want to go for maxing out our experience and maxing out our levels as quickly as possible is to try to skip some of our level ups so that we can get, like, we really want to boost up our attack as much as possible. And the reason for that is because the level ups for the attack is higher than the magic or the life. So if we get higher attack levels, and then we have our next level up, if we skip enough and we have our next level up to be our next attack level, once we complete a palace, we will get a significant amount of experience points, which would be significantly more than if we were trying to level up and get up to one of the other, either magic or life. So we're maxing out the amount of experience points that we're getting at the end of each palace, and we're doing our level ups in a specific way to try to get them leveled up quickly or efficiently enough that we're not wasting any extra time trying to grind for experience points near the end of the game. So as you can see, I skipped my first life level, I skipped my first magic level, so now it's giving me my next level up is going to be my attack level at 200, at which point I won't be able to skip one of them. I'll have to take something to spend some of those experience points on. This category is also 100%. Oh, I don't want to deal with that one. This category is also 100% all keys, which means we have to collect every key, and we have to collect. We don't have to go through every single locked door, because there are ways to be able to get Link up to the top of the screen and be able to walk across the top of the ceiling to be able to get from room to room, and that way you can skip some of the doors. However, the rules of this category state that you don't have to unlock all of the doors if you do something like that, but you have to have collected a key beforehand that would have been used to unlock that door. So also, even though you're not using that key, you would still have to collect an additional key before unlocking a different door. It's a little bit confusing, but ultimately we're going to be collecting all of the keys anyway. We're just not going to be using all of them because I don't need to go down to the basement to collect the candle now. Also with that, it's going to mess up my level ups a little bit in this palace. Leveling up early in the game is actually pretty crucial. Even though it's not a lot of experience points, it does make a difference. And also along with that, we're not killing some of the enemies that we would normally be killing by going towards the candle. So it's throwing off the leveling, it's throwing off the experience gathering. So what I'm going to end up doing is having to farm some of the bubbles that are in here. And having a low attack power right now, the bubbles will take a little while to take out, but that's okay. They keep respawning every time you just leave the screen and come back. So this bubble right here is really helpful to farm. As long as that jelly bean doesn't come too close to me and mess everything up. He did it. That damn jelly bean. They're trolls. But that's okay. We worked it out. So as you can see, this bubble takes a lot of hits to take out. My attack power is only 2. I'm pretty weak. Apparently the jelly beans come back too. But that's okay. We'll work it out. Okay, so I believe I need. So when I finish the first palace, what I'm looking for my levels to be is 4-1-1, 4 attack, 1 magic, 1 life. To be able to do that, I need a significant amount of experience points. Significant in the sense that we're very early in the game and experience points are kind of hard to come by, especially because most of the enemies that you defeat stay defeated. That's why we're sitting here farming bubbles, because they're the ones that respawn. And also because there are enemies down in the basement towards the candle that I'm not going to go and defeat that could potentially drop a 200 point bag, which would be a huge help, but we're not going to get them, so we need to farm these bubbles. Farming these bubbles is not fun on an actual console because I don't have a turbo controller to work with, so I have to actually hit the button this many times. It's not fun. Okay, I'm gonna kill this bubble, and then I'm gonna take a chance, and I'm gonna go the rest of the way down, and maybe I'll get lucky and get a 200 point bag on the way. Hopefully that'll save a few minutes. So my next level up is going to be my attack level 3, and as long as I get an additional 100 experience points before there we go, that'll help. So I've got my additional 100 experience points already. So since I've gotten that, I know that my next level up is going to be my attack. I'm gonna get boosted up to 1,000 experience points when I finish the dungeon or the palace. Like, there are palaces in this game. So I'm gonna be right where I want to be. So this is our first boss. This is Horsehead. Although his head is exposed, he only his hitbox is more on his ears than anything. So we have to get up kind of high. But I like to jump and kind of duck while I'm in the air to attack. That's just what I'm used to. And that's Palace 1 completed. So now that we're putting this crystal in the statue, we're going to get ourselves a boost up to 1,000 points to get us attack level 4. And at this point, as we are going through, you'll also notice that the palace is not covered over by rock because we did not collect the candle. We did not collect the unique item that was in it. You'll also see that from Palace 6 when we don't get the cross. You'll also notice that because we don't have the candle, it's still dark in here. So as we are making our way to the second palace, which we're also going to end up going through Death Mountain and doing all of that stuff before. We've got a lot of stuff to do before we actually go to the second palace. We're gonna take a few magic levels and life levels along the way, and we should be able to boost up our attack level a little bit too. Okay, this Keese is in a very annoying position. So we can kind of see the silhouettes of the feet of the enemies that are right here. These Octoroks, you can kind of see those. That bat was extremely annoying. And unfortunately, that bat is also going to return, so I don't know exactly where he's at. So we're just going to hope that we don't die. There he is. So the bats are really, really hard to see because I don't think you can see their silhouette on the ceiling to see where they're actually perched at, and you can't see them flying around in the dark until they actually go over part of the I don't know, part of the rock, I guess you can call it, part of the ground. We're gonna make a pit stop. We're gonna say hi to Error. This is Error. He's not bugged out. He actually has a purpose. I think if you talk to one of the townspeople in the third village, I can't remember what the name of it is, but if you talk to one of the people, it tells you that Error in Raru, I believe that's the name of this town, is Raru. That Error will, he says, go see Error in this town. So then if you come back and you talk to Error, Error will tell you that there's a secret beneath King's tomb, which alludes to like the hidden passage that takes you to the island palace. Yes, I do want that. I definitely want that. Where's that roly-poly? Come here, roly-poly! I'm gonna attempt to wait a little bit and see if I can't, okay, there's that guy. We're just gonna avoid all of this. I'm gonna see if maybe I can get lucky enough to get up to 150 to get another, well, I guess maybe I don't need to get another life level. I'll probably take the magic level once I get up to 150. We're gonna come through here, we're gonna get a nice little Link doll. It's always nice to have It's nice to always have a nice little voodoo doll of ourselves. We're going to come through the woods. We're going to meet Bagu. We're going to have an extremely short conversation with him, and then we're going to leave. Remember that Eyes of Ganon are everywhere. Don't actually talk to anybody unless you absolutely need to. That lady in the big blue house lost her mirror. We're going to walk in here and we're going to find it under the table. Or somebody found it and gave it to us. And we're going to come in here and her old man that she has locked in her basement is going to give us a life spell. That's why you were antisocial as a kid. I'm antisocial as an adult. People scare me. So during that extremely short conversation that we had with Bagu, we stole a note out of his pocket, and we're going to give it to this guy. And he's going to build us a bridge. And incredibly underleveled and without a candle, we're going to go through Death Mountain. Sounds like fun. Oh, those are jelly beans. Oh, he went down there. That's not fun. He's right there. Let's try to take him out before he comes back. I'll just go ahead and take life again. That's fine. That's fine. So, the items that you collect in the caves in this game, the game uses a specific palette to be able to show those even when they're in the dark, and because of that palette, some of the enemies, specifically the orange enemies, will still be visible. So you're going to see a little axe-wielding guy coming up here in a little bit. And I'm trying to make these bats do what I want them to do, and that's come closer to me and die. So I can see where they're at on the ceiling. They keep going the wrong way. Okay, that one's coming towards me. That one's coming towards me. Okay, so we're gonna see our axe-wielding guy right here. Oh, he dropped a red jar. All right, I believe I'm gonna continue going down and to the right, but I wanted to kill that guy to get some extra points. And yes, I am where I want to be. There's a red axe throwing guy in this room that I simply do not want to deal with, along with all the jelly beans that are in here. So I'm just gonna run through the top and bypass all of them. Please don't die. I'd prefer to not die yet. I don't know if shield is really going to help me that much in here. Nope. Oh boy, there's a red axe throwing guy down here who may or may not kill me. He did not kill me. Okay, so I really want to stay with 433 right now, and I need to boost my experience to get up to 533 by the time I finish the second palace. So I've got a yellow axe wielding guy here, which he hit me, which is no fun. And I've got a red one right there. There he is. He's going to throw an axe at me and kill me. That's okay. It happens. I'll take that. Okay, I have one extra life left. But now it's just a matter of getting out of... Now it's just a matter of getting out of the cave alive, which shouldn't be too hard, but there's a few keys near the exit that we just have to deal with. Also, these bouncy guys may or may not come back. Doesn't look like they came back, so. Oops. I can't remember if he drops a red or blue jar. He dropped a blue jar. There's the other one. Okay, we made it out of the hammer cave with the hammer. We're going to drop down here and get this potion. And as we come back through here, we're going to duck in here and leave. And then we're going to duck in here. And we can actually use life and pick up this red jar that's right there. And then we're going to head over this way. The reason that we ducked into all those caves is because it reset the encounter timer. So whenever you're on any tile that's not one of the plain roads, you just have a short amount of time before random enemy encounters appear and start running around. So ducking into all of those caves resets that timer. Oh my gosh, look at that. Enemies that I can actually see. Alright, we're going to come down here. We're going to get another voodoo doll. That's going to be helpful because I can't see anything. Actually, I'll be able to see for quite a while now. There's one cave that we need to... There's two caves, actually, that we need to go through. There's two caves that we're going to go through before we get to the second palace. But they shouldn't be too hard to get through. We're gonna duck in here and we're gonna get a quick life refill. And we're gonna go through. We're gonna go back over here to this cave in the swamp that was blocked by a boulder. Now that we have our hammer, we can burst through that and now that we have our hammer, we can bust through that and go through this cave. There is some water of life at the end of this cave that an old lady in that town that we were just in would really like to have. And there's a nice orange axe throwing guy, and there's a red one right there in front of me. There might be a second red one too. Yes, there is. It's okay. I'll take care of him. It's fine. Figures. So we're going to come up to the top of this church. We're going to come down here, and the nice little soldier guy that's down here locked in the basement is going to teach us how to use the downward thrust. Literally press down when you're jumping through the air. It's like, gosh, never would have thought of that. This is the nice old lady who needed the water of life. We've already got it, so she's just going to let us right inside, and we're going to visit her old man that she has locked in her basement, and he's going to teach us the fairy spell. We're actually not going to use the fairy spell for a little bit, but we will use it as we go to the third palace, but we're going to go to the second palace first. So in the sequence order of the game of how they intend you to actually go through this game, we did do a little bit of a sequence break by going through Death Mountain first, but not that big of a deal. It helps out a lot by going through Death Mountain first. If you can survive getting through Death Mountain somewhat underpowered, then you can give yourself a significant advantage. Oh, that's the little guy. Okay. It can give you a bit of a significant advantage going through the rest of the game, or at least the rest of the first half of the game. So we come into this cave here. We're going to get a heart container. If we try to stab it, we just bounce off of it. I believe all the enemies in this cave stay defeated except for the little spiky guy that's on the ground that you can almost only kill with the down thrust. You can actually defeat it with a well-timed jump and landing crouched stab, something like that. So as you're landing and you're crouched, if you stab at just the right time, right before you completely land, you should be able to attack it and kill it. Don't actually need that, but that's okay. So the statue at the beginning of this palace will always give you a red jar. Starting with Palace 3, the statues might give you a red jar, or a red iron knuckle might come out of it. Ooh. Might save that for later. Didn't need it. What have you had to stab it to pick it up? I love stabbing the lost child that we'll find later. Okay, I believe we need to go... Yeah, I believe we need to go this way first. Take that. Bubbles are one of those enemies that do not contribute to either the minor or major kill count. So they will never drop a potion or point bag. They're just straight up worth 50 points. You can go kill yourself.
Whoa.
Well, he was going to be a very trolly jelly bean, and it was much better if he just jumped himself in the lava. This little dragon head statue will always drop a magic jar, a red magic jar, I should say. I believe any of the statues and stuff where you can potentially find the red magic jars will always drop a red magic jar. They'll never drop a blue one. Yes, we do want that. Interesting. Never seen the blocks fall like that before. Come in here and we're going to grab the power glove. I'd say it's so bad, but it's actually pretty useful in this game. It allows us to break those blocks that were falling on us earlier. Just like that. Ow. That little eyeball floating around pooping fire on me is called a MOA. That's the same kind of enemy that would that will remain invincible later on in the game. So you can imagine how much of a troll those are going to be. Oh yes, I will definitely take some of that. So, knowing that I only need to get an additional 212 XP? I know there are plenty of enemies to encounter the rest of the way through the dungeon, so I don't have to worry. I know I'm going to get enough points to be able to boost my level up. Plus, the boss of the palace is going to give me 200, so I'm not worried. So the little attack strategy that I was doing against those bouncy bad guys, I can't remember what they're called, but in kind of like the low ceiling area, where you can jump and do the down thrust, you get a little bit of a you get just a little bit of room to be able to go past them, over the top of them, as you're using the down thrust, and also attack them. That strategy will be used in the next palace with a little bit of an altered strategy, and I'll explain that more when we get there. This is Helmet Head. Although his head is actually armored, it's still vulnerable. We can knock his head off a couple of times, and then we can just continue stabbing his actual head. And now that we finished the second palace and our next level up is our level 6 attack, we're going to get enough experience points to boost us up to 3,000 to get that. And we'll take that. And we are right on track for where we should be on our leveling up. You'd love to see him come back in Zelda games. He'd be cool to see in like Tears of the Kingdom. Like I think a lot of these bosses from these early games would be really cool to see in newer 3D games. Like I think the Gleeoks look amazing in Tears of the Kingdom. The leveling system being changed from the Japanese version is one of the main reasons why this game has a difficulty spike. Yes, absolutely. Come on, bro. Let's see. I think we haven't died again, so we've got 2 additional lives, so we're good there. I don't know if I leave and come back if I'm gonna get another chance for a potion. I guess I do. So an Iron Knuckle came out that time, so we're just gonna keep trying to farm this to get another potion. And we may or may not get one. We may just have to deal with the Iron Knuckle. He'll eventually drop either a red potion or a point bag. Point bag. That's fine. Alright, so I do want to take a life level anyway. And that's all of the level up that I actually need to do by the time I complete this palace, so Shouldn't have much of an issue as far as leveling up is concerned. That's alright. I'll just wait for him to walk closer to me. Doop doop. Alright, so you can see as I'm fighting this red iron knuckle that he's kind of stepping back a lot. There's going to be a blue iron knuckle that's a little bit more aggressive, so we're going to do that strategy that I was talking about earlier, but alter it a little bit by doing that. So all I did was I just jumped up above him using the down thrust, but I also mashed the down button so it continued doing a down thrust and continued attacking him each time that I did it. And the good players of this game call that the jackhammer. Keep going, bro. No, don't come back. Keep going. Keep going. To the left, to the left, to the left. Yeah, that's right. Thank you, sir. I don't know why I'm getting all these point bags. I literally do not need them. I also don't have to kill all of these enemies, but it is nice to get them out of the way. It is also nice to be able to have the potential for a red magic jar drop. They are very useful. Alright, I don't remember what this boss's name is. But if you knock him off of his horse, he becomes a blue iron knuckle. But we're going to try to do a quick kill on him. We're going to stand in a very specific spot. Which I believe is right about here. Nope, didn't get it. That's okay. We have 2 more opportunities to quick kill him later in the game. Rebenek. Rubbernecker. Again, we duck into King's Tomb to reset the encounter timer. We're actually not going to go into that town quite yet. It might be in my best interest for us to actually go through that town now, but... we're not going to. What are those enemies called? Are those Dodongos in this game, or are they called something else? They're impervious to all attacks except for fire. You get the fire spell in that town that we passed up earlier, which is why I said it might be in our best interest to actually go and get that, but oh well. Too late now. We're going to come over here and we're going to fight these nice orange Lizalfos. I guess there's only one of them. Fight that nice orange Lizalfos that we can see. We're going to stab this kid in the head a few times and then pick him up and put him in our pocket. We're going to take this kid over to the next town. Give him to his grandma. And then she's going to let us inside her house and let us visit the old man that she has locked in her basement. Those bouncy guys are called Tektites. Tektites were in the first Zelda game too. They're a pretty main staple in the Zelda series. But in this game, they are also impervious to all attacks except for fire. As we're going through this section, there are 2 forced encounters that are a lot easier to just skip than they are to go through. And the way that we skip them is we try to get a random encounter to hit us while we're on the same square, the same tile as the forced encounters, and the random encounter will always take priority over those. So I'm going to try to do something here. So I'm going to get this magic refill. I'm going to use something so I continue to get magic, and then use my fairy, and then I can go down here. Normally, you can't go down that chimney with while as a fairy. Link has the way that you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to jump on the rooftops a little more off to the left. The houses get lower and lower as you go, and you can, using the jump spell, you can get on top of one of the rooftops, and then you can make your way back, jumping across the rooftops, and then you can Santa Claus your way down that chimney. All you have to do is just stand on it and duck on it. Normally, if you ferry yourself up there, you're not able to actually go down the chimney as a fairy. However, because I ducked before I turned into a fairy, it let me go down the chimney as a fairy. So, a little bit faster. Yes, the cute girl in the red dress inviting you inside for a cup of tea, and you magically refill your health. Seems a bit subjective. So we're done in here. We've got what we need. We're going to make our way back towards the Maze Island and the Fourth Palace. And as we're going back through it, we're also going to try to skip these forced encounters again, which may or may not work out very well. As long as we are at least 1 pixel onto the tile that has the forced encounter when we get hit by the random encounter, the game will put us on that tile, and we'll be able to skip that forced encounter. A lot of people pause their game. They do pause buffering to try to skip these encounters, but I never do. There's nothing too terribly dangerous in here, so I've missed it a few times, so I'm just going to go through it. Alright, there is a very specific way to get through this maze. There's forced encounters all through this place, but there's a specific way to get through here with only getting 1 forced encounter. We're actually going to come over here. This isn't a forced encounter. It's more like a secret cave that has another magic potion in it. But the path, basically the path that you want to take through the maze is just always take the longest route. There's a forced encounter that's coming up right here. This is the only one that you actually have to get through. There's no other way around this. All of the other forced encounters are avoidable by going the longest way around possible. Really don't want to deal with you, sir. Alright, there are many, many keys in this palace. This is a very long palace. And it's easily confusing because, like, many of the hallways look very similar. and many of the directions and everything are very easy to get yourself lost in. I want 744 going through here, so I'm going to go ahead and take that. Doom Knocker. I call him a fart knocker. Stop calling me fart knocker. Oops. I believe we might run into another blue iron knuckle here that we can jackhammer again. And we've got a boot. One boot. Just one boot. But it lets us walk on water. Much like Ashton picked up a boot last night playing Zelda's Adventure and was able to walk on water. And much like Zelda's Adventure, we are only able to walk on a very specific water. But from what I understand, we're actually able to walk on more types of water than what she was able to walk on in Zelda's Adventure. Okay, this guy needs to go away. Stop being a troll. Okay, we're gonna skip this level. Even though there's probably plenty of bad guys that we can take out.
Fine. I'm not buffering.
God, bugger. Come on. We just really don't want to, mess up our leveling. Because as soon as I do, I'm going to have no idea how to fix it. So, I think those are Wizrobes. I think they're called Wizrobes in this game. The only way that you can kill those guys is by reflecting their magic spell back against them using the reflect spell that we just got. But we're not gonna waste our magic power on that. They're worth 100 experience and they're really easy to take out, but we really want to conserve what we've got. Oh no, Rock's internet is not letting the stream play. Rock's missing this epic no candle, no cross run that he's done himself, but it's always fun to watch. Oops. You also want to make sure that when you're next to a screen transition and you kill an enemy that's really close to it, you want to make sure that you actually wait until the experience points disappear and actually get collected before you go to the next screen. Otherwise, the enemy is not actually considered dead and will reappear when you come back. Okay, I believe I'm going this way first. And there should be little floating dragon heads. No. There's quite a few of them that are going to be trolly. There might be a couple of more on the way back. I don't think a jar... Oh, nice. A jar did come out of that. I believe that's all of them. Nope, apparently not. Wow, rude. I will definitely take that. It's going to be very helpful for our boss fight. It's coming up in just a minute. Alright, so we're going to use the Reflect spell, and we're also going to use the Shield spell. What we're going to do is we're going to stand in the corner and just duck and reflect all of his attacks back up against him. Hardest boss ever. And with this, we are going to get our level 8 attack, which is going to make us a can of whoop-ass. And since we have the boots, we're just going to walk across the water, walk across this little river all the way out of the maze. And then we're going to come down here, and we're going to get another voodoo doll. And then we're going to walk on the ocean. Shout out to Toad the Wet Sprocket, I believe. We're going to take a short detour, and we're going to come up here, and we're going to get a heart container. Make our way back and go straight to the 5th palace. The statue at the 5th palace will never drop a magic jar or iron knuckle. Sad times, but that's okay. The 5th palace is pretty equally confusing as the fourth palace. The only difference is that you don't actually need to go like everywhere in here. There's a lot of wrong turns that you can make. So we can't pick up that key as a fairy. We'll have to come back for it, which we'll come back for it right now. There is a way to get up that without actually using the fairy spell, but I am not skilled enough to be able to do that. You have to use the jump spell and do like a damage boost off of one of those bubbles. And that is not in my skill set. I don't know what these guys are called, but they're really hard to kill. But they're worth 200 points if you can kill one. Alright, so we're going to go up here and grab this key. We're going to try to grab this key without dying. And we're just going to go the easy way and burrow under all of this stuff. I believe we can get a red jar from this. Yeah. We'll go ahead and use a life potion because chances are we're going to get another red potion drop. I want to have 845 by the time I complete this. So we'll take that life level. I believe we still want to go towards the left. I'll take that. And now our goal is just to have enough experience points by the time that we finish. Is it this way? Is this where I'm going? I believe so. We want to have enough experience points by the time that we get to the boss that our next level will be at 9,000 points, so that we get a whole bunch of points by putting the crystal in the statue. Which should be fairly easy. Secret passage through the wall! We do need to go down that elevator, but first we need to come up here to get a key. Because even though we currently do have some extra keys on hand, due to the 100% all keys rule set, normally we would not be able to get the flute or whistle or recorder or whatever it's called in this game without having collected that key first. I also believe there is a red jar in one of these end blocks, like that one right there. So we're going to go ahead and grab that. Alright, so we have all of the points that we need. We have full life and full magic right now, which is excellent. Which didn't last very long, but that's okay. We'll be fine. Alright, we are going to go back up this elevator. Go over here and go down this elevator. We're going to come all the way over here and we're going to get another key that we need. Okay, that's fine. Whatever, Bubble. So we're going to do this the easy way. We're going to go up top because there's a blue iron knuckle down there that we can't do the jackhammer on because there's not enough room. So we're just going to go above him and we're going to bypass him. He's not worth fighting.
Backloaded.
Darn, I was hoping maybe he'd drop a jar. Red one might. Nope. Alright. We're going to use shield and jump because I don't have enough magic power to get life, but hopefully I can swoop in, get a stab in, and jump away before he hits me with his big old mace. There's a really cool strategy that can be done to take that guy out really quick, but you just do a lot of really quick jump stabs into him. I haven't learned it. Yes, stab his feet like you stab a child. So, since we're maxed out on our attack power, and we skipped our other magic and life levels, it's giving us our next level at 9,000. We have to actually, if we take the attack up for the 9,000 points, we don't actually get an attack up to level 9, but we will get an extra life because of it. But we're not actually going to do that. We're gonna use those 9,000 points that we have now to start upgrading our magic and life levels because they're significantly less cost, and we've got all of these extra points to use. So we're gonna get our magic up to 6. And our life up to 7. And that should leave us with 1,600 left over, which we got. This lady in the big red house and the big red dress is really thirsty. I am thirsty. And there's a water fountain right in her front lawn. So we go and we get a drink for her. She's like, "Oh, you have water. Come to my house." It's like, really? It's like, are you that entitled and lazy that you can't go out to your front yard and get some water from your water fountain? I hope there's bird poop in it. And now you drank it. So we got our fire spell that I never use. I literally never use it. I might actually use it because I'm going through the dark, though. Couple of the caves a little bit later on. Not much later on, actually. A couple of the caves have tektites and such in them that would be easier to just kill with fire rather than trying to avoid them because you can't see them. All right, this cute little spider guy, he's called the River Demon, but he hates certain kind of sounds just like Dodongo. We're gonna try to avoid this first forced encounter here. Just like that. There's a way to glitch right to the other side of these forced encounters by using the fairy and doing it in a certain way, but I'm not very good at that. I don't really know how to do that. So, and it's glitchy, so this is a glitchless run. These forests around here and these Lizalfos are very good for farming against, if you can fight them well. We're gonna come over here to this corner of this swamp and get another, if you believe it or not, another voodoo doll. These red Lizalfos are in the group of enemies that never drop a bag or potion, and they do not contribute to the counters. But the orange Lizalfos do. Da 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 da. So this is where those tektites are that we may or may not just try to fight. Like that one. And there might be one in here too. And there's a red Lizalfos right there. Not good. Do. All right, we're going to go through this town in a very specific way. We're going to go in here first, and we're going to go into the chimney to meet the old man locked in the basement behind the chimney. He's going to give us a particular spell. Yes, they had to flee Kasuto. This spell is named the Spell Spell. Spell Spell is actually going to be very useful. The Spell Spell can do a couple of different things. The first thing that it's going to do, and I don't think I have enough magic to actually be able to do it. I don't. The first thing we're going to be able to do is, or the first thing that we need to do is go talk to the old lady and get some magic. So since she's refilling my magic, I'm going to go ahead and use the life spell so that I don't have to talk to that lady and get my life refill. And then we're going to come over here and use the spell at the dead end. We're going to go into this cave with this extremely huge opening. And we're going to get the magic key. The magic key is very useful, just like in the first Legend of Zelda game. It will unlock all of the doors without using any more keys. Which is really helpful because the 6th palace has a bunch of locked doors, but there are absolutely 0 keys in that palace. We're not going to refill our magic because on our way out of town, we're going to talk to this old lady in the blue. She's going to say, hey, you have the other 7 magic containers. Why don't you come inside and take my old dusty one that's in the basement? So we're going to go get our 8th magic jar right here. Alright, we're going to make our way back through here. We're going to take out this red Lizalfos again. Maybe. And our orange Lizalfos will drop down. We can see him. And we're going to shoot fire randomly through the air and hope that it lands on a Tektite. Like that. Okay. We're not supposed to take any upgrades here. We're going to go down the shoreline here. We're going to get our 8th heart container. We're going to come over to 3-Eye Rock over here. Blow our whistle, and our 6th palace appears. There is a possible magic jar or iron knuckle in that statue, but I don't actually need to attack it to pick up either. I don't need to kill an iron knuckle to get extra points. So we're not gonna be defeating very many enemies in this palace. We're gonna be getting through it fairly quickly. Normally, we would be going off to the right to pick up the cross, but we don't need the cross. So we're just going to go straight to the boss. All right, this is our next attempt at taking out this guy with a quick kill. We'll see how it goes. And that's how you do that. It's a little bit more impressive in the third palace because you're a little bit weaker. I actually have a lot of... extra lives, but I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to intentionally come over here, pick up this voodoo doll, and intentionally die. Just so that I can get full life and magic before heading towards this boss. I'm going to try to do a trick that may or may not work. So what I'm going to do is, as I go into the next screen, which is going to be the boss room, I'm going to continue holding right and not let go until the screen stops. Hopefully I don't end up landing in a pit and dying as I try to do this. But if it works, if I do that, then, what's his name? Barba, I believe, in the English version. Barba will always spawn on the far right lava pit. So let's see if it works. Which it should. It should come up on the right side. And I should be able to jump up, do some down thrusts, get a few easy hits in. And he's dead. Or she. Could be a she. It. They. They is a good pronoun. Alright, so again, we're done with the 6th palace. We're going to get our experience boosted up all the way to 9,000. And we're going to use that to level up our magic up to 8. Or actually, we're going to level it up to 7, and then we're only going to be 500 points away from leveling it up to 8. So while we're doing that, we're going to use our fairy spell here so that we can... We're going to skip the life upgrade, and we're going to use our fairy spell to get across this bridge very easily, since we're getting magic refills while we're at it. So we're going to go into Old Kasuto, and there are Moas flying around that are invisible because we didn't get the cross. But if we use the spell, it apparently doesn't work. Okay, good to know. The spell was supposed to turn it into a jelly bean, or a bot is what they're actually called. This old man locked in the basement gives us the thunder spell. We need that to fight the old Thunderbird in the Great Palace. I'm gonna try this spell thing again and see how it works. It may or may not work. It's literally not working. Oh well. So that may not work as I go through the Valley of Death and have lots of trouble with it. We'll see. Alright, before I do anything, I'm gonna go ahead and get my magic level up here. And we're going to try to skip this forced encounter that's here, because there are invisible Moas in there that I don't want to deal with. And there may or may not be a magic jar sitting there. There was. I can't remember what... Oh, that's right. I think failing at skipping that that first forced encounter determines whether or not that magic jar is there. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to do our best to avoid all of these forced or random encounters. Okay, these actually turned into bots like they were supposed to. So instead of having all of these invisible Moas flying around, even though we've got a few of them that are still flying around, we were able to turn some of them into bots. No! It's okay. We're gonna be fine. Bugger. Bugger! No, you're right there. Ah! Alright, we got through the Valley of Death fairly easily. There's a red Lizalfos right there that we can jackhammer. And we have successfully made it to the Great Palace. Without the candle and without the cross. We're good to go. We've got this. We might be able to beat this before the 2-hour mark.
I believe in you.
I believe in me too. I believe I can fly. With my fairy spell, I can touch the sky. It didn't really work out the way I wanted it to, but hey, whatever, you know. Woo! Okay, I don't know if there's a magic jar up there. There's not. The way to remember to how to get through the Great Palace is go left, right, right, left. As we get to the bottom of these elevators, those are the directions that you want to be going. That is not what I wanted out of that statue. That's still not what I want to get out of that statue. That's what I want out of that statue. Alright. There's a Blue Faka, I believe is his name. And that's exactly what he is, too. He's sitting right here, but an easy way to take him out is just to be hanging out on this spot right here and just slash him in his head each time that he jumps up to you. There's going to be another one coming up in a room soon that the room is going to open up and he's going to jump towards us. And if we hit him with a well-timed up thrust, It should damage him, kind of push him back a little bit, and hopefully we won't take any damage from him, and he'll be a little bit less of a nuisance as we try to get through that room. This one right here. Okay, he didn't really jump the way that I wanted him to, but we got through him. It's all good. Alright. This probably isn't necessary at this point because I do actually have quite a few extra lives, but if we go over here, we can get another voodoo doll. And we are full on health, so we don't need to go over to the right, but if you do go over to the right, there is a fairy over here that you can get. You just need to be careful down thrusting through those blocks. You might end up in the lava on accident. So we come down this elevator, and we're going to go off to the left this time. He hit me. Oh my gosh. Fall down this pit. We're going to come over here. We're going to up thrust Mama Bot. Mama Jellybean. Make our way over here and fall down this very slender pit. And if we make our way over here, this block right here will have either a Faka or a red jar in it. There's a Faka in it. I'm actually really, really good on magic and health right now, so I'm not going to mess around with it. We're going to come over here, and we're going to fight Thunderbird. I'm going to use Shield, and I'm going to use Reflect, because Reflect helps to block some of the fireballs as long as they're like hitting your shield. If they fall on the top of your head, you're going to take some damage. And I'm going to use my Thunder spell in a well-timed at a well-timed spot, like right there. And I'm actually not going to use my jump spell because it's a personal preference. It just throws me off. I feel like I can hit him a lot easier with shorter jumps from down here. We're going to come over here and we're going to fight a shadow. And we're going to cheese it because we're a little bit pressed for time. So we're just going to stand over here on the left side, and we're just going to keep mashing our attack button. And once we hit him 8 times, that's pretty much game. So time actually stops when we lose control of Link right there with a 152.41. No candle, no cross, 100% all keys.
GG.
Thank you. Thank you to everybody that donated so far to get us up to what looks like 181 so far, and getting us up to, thanks Fish for pushing it up to that 150 point to allow me to do this amazing, tricky run that I haven't done in a while. But I think everything went fairly smoothly. I'm pretty happy with this. So we're going to go through some really quick credits. While that goes by, I'm going to refill my drink, and then we'll switch over to Twilight Princess. So I will be right back.